Hey guys, it's Rose from Rebel Leader Academy, and we have another Q&A Friday coming up today. So I'm pretty excited about this particular topic because it's kind of the foundation of everything that you need to put together before you even get started toward working on a mission or anything bigger. And it centers around the perspective that your brain is functioning from. So, I like to say that your brain it's pretty much like a dog, right? And you're born and your brain has all of these kind of instincts that it's set up with, and it's trained already. It's primed to look out for danger in all directions, to find food and water and all these things as you get older. But your brain itself is meant to keep you alive. It's meant to keep you surviving. So of course, what's it doing is it's always scanning for some kind of danger in your environment. But when it comes to our bigger goals, our loftier ideals, what we actually want to do with our life, that part of our brain's not so helpful. In general, in our life, quieting that part of our mind is actually what gets us closer to our dreams, our goals, our successes. So the cue for today came in, and it was around the general idea of, those people that you see, sometimes they're at work or maybe they're a celebrity or whatever. But I want you to try to think about people that you've come across in your own life. Maybe it was in school or at a conference or something. And these people, every single time you saw them or you see them now, they're happy. Like they just seem like they're in this perpetual state of happiness. And for most of us, we look at them, we're like, one, they're super annoying. And number two, we're like, they're fake. Like it can't be like that. They can't always be this happy, right? The truth is, they are. There are people that are that happy all the time. And it's not an accident. Like I say, it's not like they were born under the right star or, everything came together just perfectly for them. They never had any hardships. No, it's not that at all. It's that they have actually managed to train their mind. So I want to start by asking a question. If I just came up to you on any given morning and I said, hey, how are you? What would your brain automatically do? And I want you to go a little bit beyond your first response, which is normally, oh, I'm fine, I'm good, everything's good. But what actually comes up for you is it's that you start thinking about all the problems in your life. So if you were to answer this person with any kind of honesty, anything beyond, I'm fine, would you be like, yeah, you know what? Things are going great. Like, I don't know, my kids had this success, or I've had this thing happen, or we're going on this great vacation, or something small like, you know what? I had the most delicious breakfast, or I had a great walk, whatever it is. My bus ride to work, you know what? I was watching this mother and their kid, and they were having this great interaction. And it just made me happy to be human and in that moment and alive with that, whatever it is. Is that where your mind goes? Or does it start going to all your problems? Like, how are you? Oh, me, my life's fucking shit. That's how I am. I didn't sleep well last night. My kid was screaming. I had to get up to go to work early. My pay is shit. I'm basically making no money. Like, you start going down all the list of problems, right? So here's the thing. Your brain, naturally, that untrained dog part of your brain, goes to the problems. Why? Because that's really what the brain actually thinks is most important. Not all the great things that are probably happening to you or the wonderful experiences. No, your brain is very focused on the bad shit that you gotta solve. It's like, I need money to survive. My kid's crying. I better go take care of them. Whatever it was, your brain will go for the problems. It'll go for the negative. So that starts setting you up into this pattern from the time we're born, basically, into this pattern of we're just constantly circling around looking for problems, right? And if you're focusing on the right problems, like I said in a couple of videos ago, you're focusing on like big grand vision, like mission-driven problems. Not all of the little shit that your brain naturally wants to start pinging when you ask this question, how are you? Even if you ask yourself, like just look at yourself, hey brain, how am I today? It's just gonna start throwing all the crap at you. However, There is a way to train your brain so that it starts thinking about all of the good things that happened. And that is a whole rewiring process. Let me just say this. It's not your fault that you go to the negative shit. That's great. It keeps you alive. That's normal. It's natural. It's like natural in the most natural sense. You are wired for it. But if you want to move towards happiness, if you want to move towards fulfillment, you want to move towards a more mission-driven life, then the fundamental thing that you have to change is how your brain responds when you start asking it, how are you, brain? It has to start going to the positives. And this has ripple effects not only in your own life, in your personal life, in your relationships. As soon as you start growing, whether you are looking for a job in your mission-driven field, you're going into entrepreneurship and starting your own business, you're trying to connect with clients or collaborators, you need to have this fundamental thing down and solid and make it just as easy, if not easier, for your brain to naturally go to the positive. All the great things that happened. Why? Because that sets up your attitude differently. It's quicker to put you in a state of flow when you are working. It's proven that when you're in a positive, quote, positive state of mind and your energy is high, that you have a whole different set of thoughts. The solutions that come to you on a personal level and on whatever problem you're working on, if it's on your mission or whatever, the solutions that come to you when you are in a higher vibe, so to speak, are totally different than if you are letting your untrained dog brain just go crazy in the background. It's gonna come up with solutions that aren't even really solutions. It's going to have all kinds of cognitive biases in there, which we'll talk to you later on about, but it's just not going to be the same quality of solution as if you first have trained your brain to go into this positive mindset, future vision, which we'll talk about doing, future vision, what you actually want to accomplish, and then bring it back into the now and say, okay, how do I solve this problem from this place? But that's even going beyond what we're talking about today. Today, I just want to tell you and get you to start really thinking about, it's natural for you to go negative. That's what's kept us surviving. We're an animal just like all the other ones, and we have these mechanisms to keep us alive. So of course we're going to go to those survival-based problems. But because we have this higher functioning as humans, and we can actually consciously direct our thought patterns and consciously make different kinds of grooves in our brain, which is amazing, the plasticity of our brain, we can start training our mind to go in the positive, to go towards solutions, to actually go towards happiness. So that eventually when somebody asks, hey, how are you? And you give them a real response that goes beyond, I'm fine, or whatever, you'll start thinking about, how am I? God, you know what? I don't know. I loved putting my perfume on this morning, or the soap in the shower smelled fantastic, or, I gave my kid a great hug before they went to school, and it's going to be amazing, because then your default, just like those annoying people I talked about in the beginning that seem to be always happy and bubbly and fluffing around even at like 6 in the morning, that's going to be you. They don't have anything special other than somewhere in their life they were, in this sense, blessed enough to come across somebody, maybe it was a parent, a teacher, a book, something, to say, hey, here's how you start training your mind towards positivity, towards the good, towards everything that you actually want to create. Because in any given day, I promise you, I don't care what kind of life you have, whatever it is, in any given day, you have a whole slew of shit, and you've got a whole slew of amazing things. And it's up to you and how you have trained your brain to either immediately focus on all the shit or on all the amazing things that happened that day. And that's beautiful when you think about it, because we just go about our whole day walking around, looking at things, experiencing things, feeling things, and any of those things you can hold on to and you can keep, and you can say, that's life. That's what I want for life. That's what I want. And I'm going to hold on to it because I can. And I can train my brain to keep mental notes and tick them off and be like, you know what? There was that moment and that one and that one and that one. And all the shit stuff that the dog part of your brain is going, it's like, that's important, that's important, that's important, that's a problem, that's a problem. You can actually learn to just tune that down. Yes, yes, you have important problems, that is true. But all the shit that your brain is looking for that's negative based on survival, you don't always have to pay attention to. We're beyond. So how is the question? How do you even start training your brain? And when I say this, probably a lot of you are going to be like, oh, come on, I've heard that a billion times. Well, you probably heard it a billion times because it's fucking true. And that is, you start with a gratitude practice. That's it. It's that easy. It's that easy to start rewiring your brain toward positivity. Because it might take writing it down in the beginning. It might take, I have Evernote on my phone, let's say, in a little app. It might take just jotting shit down and then reviewing it at the end of the day. But what you're doing by jotting these gratitude moments down, these nice things that happen to you, these pleasurable experiences, is that every single day you are saying, hey brain, this is what I want to focus on. Hey brain, this is life. Hey brain, it's not as bad as that dog part of you wants to think it is. There's actually a lot of beautiful experiences that we have. There's a lot of great shit that happens in my life every day. So just writing it down every single day, start with like 5 things. Make it easy, because I know that some people, their brain has never done this. This is a whole new skill. They're great at finding all the bad things. In fact, so great that it's like a 180-degree switch. Even when you ask them like, hey, name one good thing that happened today. Just one. So the best thing to do is start, if you think your whole life is just total shit, one of the easiest things to do for gratitude is to start with some kind of sensation that you liked. Sensation's easy, it's in your body. Something you saw, something you smelled, something you felt, who knows? It could be as easy as, I put my favorite sweater on today and it was so soft against my skin. Like that moment of putting it on, awesome. It literally could be that simple to retrain your brain. So that skill, fundamental to everything else we do here at the Academy, fundamental, is to make your brain trained enough to be able to recognize all the good. All right, guys, so that was Q&A Friday. I hope it was helpful. I hope that as we've been talking, maybe you have been thinking about, oh yeah, there were these moments that were actually nice that I could focus on. Or maybe I'm going to try that gratitude journal thing. Even if it's not a journal, whatever, you just want to make mental notes. I'm just saying it tends to be easier in the beginning if you force yourself to just kind of write it down and have that accountability with yourself. Eventually, you won't need the journal. Eventually, you'll just be walking around. And by eventually, this is a lot of rewiring you're doing in your brain. This is not something that's going to happen tomorrow or overnight. It literally took me 3 years of daily gratitude journaling before it became second nature. I mean, you are rewiring a hard-coded part of your brain that's geared for survival. Just think about that. Like, you're going up against thousands of years of this part of your brain being the one in control. And now we're moving to the prefrontal cortex. Literally what you're doing. You're moving to the front of your brain and saying, hey, I'm going to control all of that dog brain in the back. We can do that. That's amazing. We can do it. You can do it. But just know that you are going up against that part of your nature too. So don't get discouraged. That's what I want you to know. Do not get discouraged in the process. But you're going to start seeing incremental changes. All of a sudden, you're going to be, who knows, going about your business, and you're going to be like, wow, that sunlight looks so pretty on that tree. And it's going to be one of those moments where you're going to go, what the fuck? Like, who am I in this moment? And that's when you know you're going to start. You're going to start being one of those happy, peppy, annoying people. But that's okay. Because that fundamental change is what actually leads you to bigger and bigger and bigger successes, which we'll talk about more. All right, guys, thank you so much. Q&A Friday is done. Hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys again on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Love you guys. Mwah.